Hi guys, welcome to Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. So week 2 of Mickey getting a little bit fitter. So my walk today again is the Basingstoke Canal, but I'm going to walk from Fleet down as far as the Barley Mow, maybe a bit further, I don't know yet. And we're just going to go for a little wander. And to reiterate that my word is my bond, and I'm taking the Dutch pack today. And what I've decided to do, make this video a little bit more interesting, is my loadout. So what I've done, I've got the boot of the car ready, and I'm going to do a quick loadout review. Well, not even review, quickly just show you what I'm packing, what I'm carrying in that little Dutch bag. Take it down the canal with me. We might stop for some lunch, we might make a brew, see how things go. Anyhow, this is Mickey, this is Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. I hope all is good with you. Let's crack on with the video. So, cracking on with the video. Right, boot the car. What we got the Dutch pack there. So in the Dutch pack today we're going to be carrying 1 litre water, Dutch Army poncho which will double up as a shelter if I needed it, basic fire starting kit, first aid kit, billy can, long and cut, wooden spoon, 1 bag with lunches in it, ball in the bag as we've always said, coffee making facilities, emergency shelter, and the gasifier stove. And we've got a handful of pellets inside that, where we're going to be using that as our fuel source again, because we're out in public. You don't want people seeing you basically going through the woods and salvaging, because they just won't get it, they won't understand. Backups, head torch, first aid kit. I'm also taking with me, because it's that time of year, 2 Gems books, which again helps me to back up any knowledge I already have. Spectacle case, hard-on spare spectacles, and in this pouch on this side I've got all my camera gear. So that's what we're going to be carrying. I'm going to pack this up and get out of here, because it is quite a public area, this end of Fleet. So here we go, we're on our walk, or we're starting on our walk, and we're walking from Fleet to the Barley Mow down the Basingstoke Canal. At this end, as you come out of Fleet, you've got the houses on the left hand side of the canal. Lovely places, very lucky people having a water frontage, and some of these guys obviously have their own boats and stuff. Sun's just starting to come out for us, which is absolutely stunning. It was overcast when I left home, and I thought could be a grotty day today. Temperature 7 degrees ambient, very slight wind. It is a little bit on the northerly side, so there's a little bit of a chill in the air. Nothing too uncomfortable. Should in actual fact make it quite nice for walking. And again, what I try and do is protect people's privacy, so I'm not going to film the houses and that. I'm not going to let you see that, because I wouldn't like somebody filming my house. I won't be stood in the garden in the nud. But we'll have a walk down the canal, we'll enjoy it. I'm just going to turn you around and let you have a look at the view. How's that, eh? Couldn't be a better day for a walk. So what I'll do, I'll get back to you guys when we find something interesting, or we see something interesting, or when I think of something to say. You know I do like to waffle. So on we go. Hi guys. So as I walk along the canal, I try and keep my eyes open for places of interest, and things that might interest you, or you might want to use on the canal. So here we go. So there's a mooring here just outside Fleet, probably about a K down from where I'd parked, and right on the canal, and I mean literally right on the canal, there is a public house, pub, called the Fox and Hounds, which is a pub and dining. It's a nice big car park, and they have benches. I don't know if it's to do with them or the canal, but there's benches just outside the pub with a nice view of the canal. They've got a nice open area at the back with a marquee and plenty of tables. So again, That looks like a lovely place to come, enjoy a pint, sit by the canal, possibly have a meal, and have a really pleasant day out. And if you're on a boat and you're on the Basingstoke Canal, well, I can't think of a nicer place to stop. It's got a children's play area, outside seating area, and like I say, the tables along the top of the canal, which I'm sure nobody's going to object to you sitting up there looking at the canal, having a pint. That'd be nice. I might chat the wife up, come up here one afternoon, have a meal, do a bit of a review of the Scoff, see what that's like, and we'll go from there. Anyhow, just a bit of interest along the canal. See if I find something else for you to look at. Strolling along quite nicely. Just left the village of Church Crookham, and starting to get out into the more sort of rural side. Sound of cars is going away, sound of birds is increasing, and yeah, a bit more peaceful. I probably won't do a video at the upper reaches of the canal, although it does have some absolutely beautiful sections. It runs through a couple of towns and that, and yeah, I'm not really a town person. I'd rather be out here, so I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to see those stretches, if you want me to walk the full length of the canal. Yeah, go on, you let me know what you want. If you've had enough of seeing canals, say me, I've had enough of seeing canals, Mick. Yeah, show us something different. You know, we've got some lovely scenery out here in southern England. In fact, the whole country is beautiful. So yeah, maybe the Devil's Punch Bowl next. Has an interesting geological site, has a lot of history, some of it quite dark. Might do that in the next few weeks as well, but just build myself up towards that, because that is quite a steep walk in and out. Yeah, beautiful, it's peaceful, alone with my own thoughts, my camera, and I hope you guys don't mind me sharing my thoughts with you. You know, I'm an old fart, I do waffle, but yeah, helps me get it off my chest, I suppose. Gorgeous day, starting to feel the adrenaline starting to be released now, the dopamine's starting to kick in. Lovely. Right, catch you guys in a little point of interest here. So as I walk down the canal, we're coming to one of the bridges here, so we have a mooring point on the other side of the canal there, and then we have this little bridge, and as you see, the bridge is quite low at the moment. There's probably 4 feet between the water and the bridge, not big enough for a boat to get under. And this is a swing bridge. Okay, so all bridges on the canals that were low were designed so that the bargee, or the barge operator, and their horses could manoeuvre it so that they could get through or under. So this is a swing bridge. It's very well balanced, and basically under where I'm standing now is a bearing point. The bridge unlocks on a padlock over there, and with minimum effort you could take the bar here and swing the bridge, and you can swing the bridge to the open position. And as you can see down here, it's stepped and it manoeuvres all the way round here, trying not to trip over it, to this point here, so that you could open this bridge and bring your boat through. And underneath the bridge, in the shadow and the light, I can see a large school of small fish. So again, they're using the shelter from the bridge as protection. Hi. On with the walk. The bridge is here because Zevon Copse Nature Reserve is this side, but I'm going to get myself back onto the towpath, cross the bridge, and continue with the walk. Let's have a look off the bridge. Right guys, so now we're on to one of the more fascinating sections of the canal. So I'll read out to you what it says on this board, because I'm frightened I'm not going to get a good image of it to give you the details. So the canal was built 200 years ago to provide a transport link between the farmlands of the North Hampshire and London. Providing a wealth of natural history, much valued recreational amenity, the canal is also an important heritage site of local and regional historical significance, including World War II defence structures. Right, I shall read this out verbatim, and then we will go and try and find some of these items which will make today's walk a bit more interesting for you. A line of defence. To restrict routes of attack in the summer of 1940, 50 known stop lines were constructed across the UK. They would form a continuous anti-tank obstacle, natural where possible, and including pillboxes and other prepared locations. They form the GHQ Line A. The longest and most important was designed to protect London and the industrial heartland of Britain. Pillboxes are sited at road junctions, canals and other strategic points, but because defence structures are not listed or protected, fewer than 6,000 out of the 28,000 built are thought still to survive. Remains of the defences can be seen along this canal between Crookham Wharf and Blacksmith's Bridge. Pillboxes, anti-tank structures such as concrete pipe cylinders and dragon's teeth, and concrete mine sockets can be found along the canal. There are 7 basic pillbox designs, there are 7 basic pillbox designs, but in many cases, as with the structure at Tundry Pond, the final design was dependent on the local material availability, the site topography, and Tundry Pond was also used as a World War II mortar range, and many unexploded bombs were uncovered when it was part drained in the 1980s to aid canal repairs. Right, do excuse my dyslexia. So let's try and get you. I hope that comes out relatively clear. So there we have it, an important defence. We found the pillbox on our last walk, and literally right next to the sign we have these concrete dragon's teeth, and as you see, they're in a row of 3 positioned up there, so a tank or a vehicle would get stranded on them and its tank tracks would run in the air. It wouldn't be able to gain mobility, and could then be picked off at will. It's like that famous saying, you'll see it in all the war films, fire at will. Poor old Will, what's he ever done to anybody? Anyhow, so I'm going to see, that was dragon's teeth, I'm going to see if we can find some other places of interest, pillboxes and so on, to have a look at. Obviously being aware of the wildlife and fauna, and being aware of the bats. Yeah, we don't want to disturb any bats or anything like that, but I'll try and get you a good look. Big out. Right, first set of defences we found, and hopefully you can all hear this on the, or see this, but just out here, I'm running up into the woodland there are a line of concrete, how would I describe it, it's pillars. These are 4 feet in diameter, and there is about 4 feet of them poking out of the ground, and they look to be solid concrete. So again, it would be highly defensive position. In actual fact, I just walked 5 meters on. There's a pillbox to my right which we'll try and have a look at. There's the remains of a bridge, so these pillars and this pillbox was obviously set here to defend this bridge. The main bridge is gone, long gone from the looks of it, but we will endeavour to have a look. In fact, change my view, these pillars aren't 4 feet, they're a bit bigger, I'd say. There's a second one there. There's 2 on that side of where the bridge would have been. There's a pillbox in the undergrowth covered up here, but unfortunately it's the other side of a fence line, so I'm not going to be able to go and look at that. It's private property. I may see if I can get permission to come back and look at it sometime, see if I can find the landowner. And so you would have had a pillbox here, line of concrete pillars there, which would have made a defensive position, and this bridge here, and these would have been designed to slow anything coming through the trackway roadway that would have come through there originally and gone off through there. Fascinating stuff. Found a bit of salvage. Fascinating. So let's see how I'm going to get to it without getting prickled. Lovely. Bit of silver birch caught up in the undergrowth. It's been shed. The main tree's rotted away. That's been left. It's dried, air dried. I'll salvage that. Go in my kit. Bit of fire lighting. Salvage it where you can find it. You're not taking a live plant. You're not damaging anything. It's just something that's been shed and it's hanging on the brambles. I'll take it. We'll use that when we make our brew. Excellent. So we've found another pillbox, and this one I can access. I've had a quick squiz through and checked it for bats. No sign of any bats. It's a little bit damp and soggy, this one. It would have originally had a brickwork trench allowing access to it, which would have been a defendable trench. It's a brick construction, corrugated metal roof, so I'd say this was probably made later and in a hurry, with a rebar steel support and a concrete central pillar. I'll do some research, try and find out how these were made. So here we go. Quite a narrow opening here. I'd have to turn sideways to get through there, and the same here, so this is in the entrance, so this would have been quite an easily defendable entrance. And again, the concrete would have caught any fragmentation rounds that were coming through. This has concrete firing ports, and as you can see from the angle of the firing port, this gives quite a reasonable arc of fire. And again, 3 foot thick walls. These 4 foot thick walls. These walls again, same sort of construction, brick rather than the precast concrete. A brick central pillar. So this must have been towards the end of the war, and a lot of the materials were precast, so they've been brought onto site and then put in. And as we can see, as usual, people are coming and drop their crap. I'll be collecting that up before I leave. I'll squash it, put it in my bag, take it out with me. Yeah, you can go to all the effort of bringing your crap out, take it away with you. This one's not particularly dry, and there's lots of midges, mosquitoes, other flying nasty bitey insects in here, so I'm not going to spend too long in here. I'm going to get chewed to death. Not something you expect this time of year, but I suppose the temperature is coming up. Now, the majority of the firing ports seem to go out this way, so that would have been their aiming position. I think there's the remains of a bridge down there. I've got to get out. Bugs are too much. So you would have come out, turn left here, and the trenchway went down that way. And of course nature is taking it over. So another pillbox. So I think what we might do, find somewhere around here to have a brew. So I can do one. Let's get a brew on. So, So, in all honesty to you guys, I've stopped short, and I've stopped short by about half a mile. The reason I've stopped short for half a mile is, yeah, fate giving me some grief. Decided to try the patrol boots. They are, yeah, just under £100, and I treated myself to these back before Christmas, back November. Wanted a pair of light, comfy, sort of trainery type boots, just doing stuff like going uptown and things like that. And I thought today I'll give them a try over distance on uneven ground, see how they go. And I wouldn't recommend them, guys. Not my recommendation at all. The around town and stuff, great, superb. The soles aren't particularly firm, so you after the first 2 or 3 miles I started noticing the ground, stones, pebbles, things like that. Grip's okay, ankle support's okay, and they are light. Hardly notice them on my feet, but yeah, started to get a little bit of impact in my soles. Pushed on with it. Got to the point where, you know, when you're walking, you're like, this has stopped being fun. I'm not enjoying this now. This is uncomfortable and painful. So what I've done, turned around, started making my way back. I've come back about a click, found a nice tree stump or fallen tree. That's an ideal spot. So I'm making a cup of coffee, resting my legs and my feet, getting the weight off them for a minute or two. Give myself half an hour, have a brew, have something to eat, and then I'll make my way back from here. Again, I want the water to boil, make the brew. I'm not going to heat. I've got a boil in the bag. It's beef and pasta. I'm not going to heat that up super hot, because I want to be able to get it down my neck and get on. Weather conditions, well, it started out, wasn't too bad. We had a bit of sun. The wind wasn't too bad, but the wind is now starting to get up. We're getting some cloud cover, so out of the wind, you certainly, or out of the sun when the clouds are in place, you're noticing the chill. But it ain't too bad. I'm gonna get myself into this, get myself sorted, and make my way back. Right, that's Mickey out. Well, that worked out well. So as you saw, the small amount of pellet I put in there, which was only a small amount, and yes, I put a Dragon Gel cube in there as well, and that was enough. That made me a brew. I got enough water there to make a second brew if I wished, and that's heated my meal. Brilliant bit of kit. Again, and that was just using the wood pellet. So I'm going to let that burn itself out, have my lunch, make my way back. Right, so that's brew done. So I've had my scoff. It wasn't beef and pasta. Teach me and bring my reading glasses with me. It was beans and pasta. So I apologise, Kaz, if I am a little bit windy tonight, shall we say. Anyhow, yeah, temperature's dropping. Wind's getting up now. It is starting to get a little bit gusty, starting to get a bit of cloud cover. So, yeah, time to start making the move. And as always, I'll get back in the sunlight. As always, not a trace is left. Right guys, let's get on with this walk. Catch you in a bit. So guys, bit of advice from me. You've stopped, you're on your walk, you've had your break, you had your scoff, you rested your feet. Oh, bit of a wobble there. Rested your feet, had your coffee, you're going to get back into your walk. Take it easy, start slow. Right, you've stopped, you've been exercising, you've built up lactic acid in the muscles, and that's been sort of sitting dormant and concentrating the muscles. If you suddenly burst into a feat of energy, pushing yourself straight into it, what you're going to do, you're going to damage the muscles, you're going to cause more pain, make yourself suffer. It ain't worth it. So when you get back into your walk, ease it in. The same thing after your walk. If you've done a really strenuous bit of exercise or walk, don't just stop and sit down, no matter how much you want to. Okay, go through a warm down routine, exercise other muscles. If you've been using your legs, use your arms, get the circulation going, spread the lactic acid throughout the body. Yeah, don't concentrate in one area, and warm yourself down. It's what athletes and that do. I might have got the science a bit wrong there, I don't know, but that's what I do. I find if I burst straight back into it, throw myself at it, I'll ruin myself. So we'll start nice and gentle, first 500 metres or so, literally dawdle, and then pick it up and pick it up till you're comfy. Alright guys, just Mickey out. Good chat to an elderly gentleman who apparently has lived here his whole life and can remember just after the war as a young lad what was going on up here. So as far as he was concerned, these defences were set in place because Aldershot obviously was a main target for the German military, being a military town, and the canal was an easily defended line. So basically all along it there are pillboxes and defensive positions, because armour would have had to cross it. They'd have had to build bridges, they'd have had to find flat areas where they could put a pontoon bridge across and all the rest of it. And it's not a wide canal, however it was a good defensive line. And I keep almost tripping over these concrete structures in the floor, and I wasn't sure what they were, so I asked him, I said, "You have any idea what they are?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I can tell you exactly what they were for." He said, "During the war," he said, "they're big concrete squares, they go about 3 feet. He said, with a tube in it." He said, "Some of them had metal poles in, so basically they formed an upright obstruction." He said, "But others had mines in them, they had an explosive in them, and usually within sight of a pillbox. So these would be covered over, I suppose, with soil, and it meant you could detonate an area and destroy it." But he also said to keep an eye out in some areas where the banks were high and the canal was actually raised above the surrounding ground layer. They mined it, so that basically 38 miles of canal could be drained, I suppose, in a matter of hours into an area and flood it and deny that area to the military. And just to give you an idea, I'll have to turn the camera around here and hopefully you can see it, but that down there with the love heart on it is a pillbox, and coming away from that in the ground are all these concrete structures, all with a cylinder in them. And that's what they were. Some were mines, so I suppose a small mine inside that with the concrete round it would direct the force upright. I suppose with my limited knowledge, that would be a more, how would you put it? It would put the force of the explosion into a smaller area. It would direct it like a bullet out of a gun, basically, and probably make a small charge more destructive. And again, having the raised poles and that along here gave obstructive devices. And again, as I said earlier on, this line of defences was to try and delay. It was to hold back as long as possible to allow the UK to build up defensive lines further in, to get troops together, to mobilise and evacuate where necessary. because during the Second World War the Germans' history of advance was pretty incredible. Blitzkrieg and all that, they would move forces very, very fast, and usually through ground nobody thought they were going to. So other defences that they'd come across in the past, the Maginot Line in France and that, they just bypassed it. They went round it, and the French were convinced they'd never do that because of the Ardennes forest. You never get armour through there. Well, they did. So I think that's what Churchill and his planners were looking at during the Second World War with the defences here, rather than having dedicated set small areas of massive fortifications. Small fortifications spread over a long line using natural features to slow the enemy. Anyhow, that's me waffling. Sun's coming out from behind the clouds now, so temperature's coming up when I'm in sun. But again, as soon as the sun goes behind a cloud, the temperature plummets. The clouds, yeah, don't know whether we're going to get any wet or not, but I've got my poncho on the top of my bag. If it does start raining, I'll sling it over myself and over my bag and keep mooching. Anyhow, enough waffling. Hi guys, so that was it. That was my 8-mile walk down and back along the canal. So originally I aimed at 10 miles was my goal, so I was looking at 5 miles out, 5 miles back, and obviously it got reduced a little bit. And again, that's common sense. I could have pushed it. I could have pushed it that extra mile going out. Could have made it a 10 miler. However, I'm trying to regain my fitness. I knew the following day that I was going to be on my feet up the woods. And so I had to call it quits. I mean, if you're out there and you're walking to the point that you're no longer enjoying it and you're getting pain in your feet, that invariably is down to your boots and your socks and your condition. I'm gauged myself as a reasonably fit person. I'm not super fit. I am out of shape. I haven't exercised majorly in months. So we're building up. Now, what let me down? Was it me? No, it wasn't. What let me down was my boots. And I am a bit disappointed because, as you're aware, I use a lot of army surplus, and the army surplus boots I use are brilliant. They're normally what I wear. They're absolutely superb. But I thought, I'm exercising, I'm building myself up. What I'll do, I'll wear something a bit lighter and a bit more comfy on my feet. Now, as I said before, back before Christmas, I've treated myself to a pair of boots in, shall we call it, a reputable hiking camping shop. I went in and I had a look at their boot range, and I thought, I won't get cheap ones. I'll spend a bit of money and get something comfortable. And what I wanted was something that I could wear. It is about 3k each way to the town for me. I enjoy walking up there and walking around the shops. I do a lot on my feet, so I thought comfy boots. So I bought a pair of let's get this right, high-tech Magnum Panthers, which were, I was told, were their top boot. It's a good walking boot. Apparently these are designed for police, security, people that are on their feet all day. Now, what I won't say to you, if that's what they're designed for, it's probably great. If you're a security guard patrolling indoors all day long, these are probably ideal. But I am very disappointed at something that was just shy of £100. In this time, and bear in mind that this is the only time I've really walked them out into the woods or out on a walk. The rest of the time it's just been general wear around the town, to and from the town. But the rubber's coming away, as you can see there. The material very quickly started to fall apart. The inner has collapsed to almost nothing, and that is your padding. As it turns out, that is your padding. And the soles themselves are a very soft rubber and very, very thin. So what happened on my walk, bear in mind that I'm walking on a surface, it's a path that is built up with scalpings or not road planings, but yeah, scalpings, basically stones laid to form the path. those impacted in that, and within a few miles I started to feel each stone, and I bruised the soles of my feet. So no, unless you're a security guard, you're going to be indoors, you're out of the rain, you're out of the weather, you're out of a rough environment, you just want something that's a smart, tidy boot, yeah, buy them. If you're going to do any form of walking, no, I wouldn't recommend them. They're junk. Yeah. And they failed me quite miserably. So they're going in the bin. And it's back to my army surplus boots, which would have cost me, or do cost me, half what these cost. So, yeah, am I disappointed? Yeah. Ruined my walk, ruined my day out. If it hadn't been for the pain in the soles of my feet, that 10 miles would have been a lovely round trip walk. Bit of a disappointment. Anyhow, that's my moan and whinge out the way. And as I've said to you in the past, I will be honest about what I wear. Okay, I'll be honest about what I use. If it works, it works. If it lets me down or fails me, or I think it's no good, I will tell you it's no good. Anyhow, so that was it. 8 miles up and down the canal. Did I enjoy the walk? Apart from the pain in my feet, yes, it was quite pleasant. Found a few interesting things. And yeah, 4 hours in total. So that was 4 hours of walking. That includes filming, that includes stopping for a brew. So I don't think that was a bad pace personally. The bag, when I weighed it, I come home, filled the water container back up, stuck it on the scales, and that come in at just shy of £30. So again, not a huge amount of weight, but enough to start building muscles and start preparing myself for the spring and summer. Guys, that was my walk to and from the canal. As usual, I hope you're having a great day. I hope your boots are better than mine. I hope your family and your friends are well. I hope everything out there for you is going your way and the weather is fantastic. Have a great time. Get outside, enjoy yourself, get that fresh air. Look after your mental health, look after the mental health of others. Love those you do, forgive those you don't, and, as always, peace, love and light to you all. This is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Mickey out.